All right, Delaney, I'm taking a look now at your final project, week 7. It looks like you've written yours in APA. Title page here looks very good, except it's missing the title of the assignment itself, which should be right about here in bold letters. So it is missing that title, but you do have the title down here, so that's okay. Excess spacing here should all be double spaced, but that's a minor thing. It's not a big deal. Just remember for future reference, you always want to make sure everything's double spaced when you do MLA and or APA. Okay, so let's say in today's fast-paced, technology-driven society, stress has become a routine part. Okay, so you've done a good job here at alluding to the historical context. You've also delineated who the audience is, your audience, which is the people struggling with mental health challenges. Um, then you introduce the article, so that's good. Yeah, okay, so you clearly state the purpose. So that's not a bad thing to do there. Health, educating genre. Okay, so you clarify the genre. And the topic, of course, is pretty clear here in the introduction. So very good job with part 1 so far. Pelosi argues. Now that tells us what the genre is. Did I mark genre? Yeah. So genre is I'm assuming you would say that it's probably a little bit of both argument, like persuasive, and perhaps informational maybe as well. So that's good. Maintaining, okay, argues that recognizing stress early, maintaining supportive relationships, and adopting healthy daily habits are essential for improving mental and emotional well-being, especially for individuals vulnerable to anxiety, depression. Very good thesis statement. Very nicely done there. For your thesis statement, provides your core idea, and it introduces the topic. Now, let's see if you did what I'm hoping you did and allowed this to drive your body paragraph. So if you did this the way that the exemplar shows, then that means your body paragraphs would be that recognizing stress would be the first one, and bam, look at that, you did that. Awesome. So you're like one of the first. Actually, so far, well, I've only looked at a few of them so far, but so far you're the first one that really did this right. You really have a great grasp on how to write this because you evidently looked at and used the exemplar. So awesome job. I wish everybody would take me seriously when I say you really have to use the exemplar, and you right here are proving that that's how it works, right? So, one of Pelosi's central arguments is that early recognition of stress is critical to preventing emotional overload and long-term health consequences. She explains that stress often develops gradually and can appear. So when you use her information here, you should be using actual parentheticals at the end to show that that's coming from her source. So like here, right after the fluctuations, you should have a set of parentheses, and in that parentheses, you'd want to have the page number, right? Since you've already used her name here, and then clarified here that you're talking about the same person, she, you could probably get away with just putting the page number here at the end of fluctuations in a in a set of parentheses. That's what you should have wanted to do. So a little bit of a minor error there when it comes to citations, in-text citation, but let's see how you did with the rest of it. Okay. Okay, here you show a source. Now, is this something she cited? Research indicates that positive social support can lower biological stress responses in part to oxytocin. Did you add this source yourself? Or is this a source that, because I'm not sure offhand, I can't remember if Pelosi uses the source like that or not. If you found your own source to do this, then that is awesome, because that definitely goes above and beyond expectations. If you use the source from her, though, if this source was in her writing, then you would want to have said something like referenced in, and then you would have wanted to mention them, these authors, in your signal phrase, and then or at least mention that, mention something alluded to the authors. You could have said something like Heinrichs et al. According to Heinrichs et al., comma, research indicates, and then you could have put in here referenced in Pelosi, and then the year of her writing. But if this is your own source that you separately added, then that's wonderful. That's great. So I might be able to tell that by your works cited page. We'll see. All right. So you do have some great details. You have a great job with your evidence. Good job weaving it in there with your voice coming before and after. Here's another one. Here you quote Pelosi again. Don't forget to put those page numbers in there with the date right after the date. Here you should have. Well, yeah, you don't really have any source citations or anything in this one. This is your conclusion, and that looks very good too. So awesome job with part one. Part one was awesome. Let's see how you did with part two. Again, excess spacing, you just want to keep it all double spaced. The audience for the second version of this analysis is family members and friends who support individuals. Okay, that's good. Readers may want to help. So you definitely do a good job of introducing your audience. Excuse me. In the fast-paced, technology-driven culture in which stress becomes, family members and friends are often the first to take notice when it begins to affect a loved one's emotional or physical health. So now you clearly delineate who your new audience is. Let's see, frame stress is a familiar yet manageable condition. Okay, so good new thesis statement. You say here that she emphasizes the importance of identifying stress early, maintaining supportive social ties, and adopting healthy daily routines. However, she emphasizes personal accountability and stress management. Well, also, okay, so the only thing that you haven't done that I was hoping to see is your inclusion of and discussion of the opposition side, like one negative about, not opposition, but one negative about her article, something that about her article that wasn't so great. You haven't done that, so that's one little thing that I was looking for, but that's not going to hurt you a lot because everything else is really well done. So you've taken care of the needs there. I can see the needs being covered. I can see the writing situation being dealt with and how it's different. You've got your same type of, you've written it the same way basically as you did the first part. So your style is still strong. Writing conventions is still strong. Clear communication is great. Citations, just a little, you almost aced the whole thing, but just a little bit off of that because there were a couple places there where you didn't put the page numbering in there, which is supposed to be in there. But you did a great job, fantastic job, 99.25. That you can't get any closer than that to 100. So yeah, that's not really, I'm not going to really take anything off for the fact that you didn't include that negative. Because number one, it's not actually in the instructions, it's only alluded to in the exemplar, so I'm not going to hit you hard on that at all. And because you did such a great job otherwise. So very nice job, Delani. Awesome work. If you have any questions, there's your citations. Now that's a little off because this should actually say references and it should be centered here. But you do have the entries look good. The entries look fine. And so, yeah, now this was not done as APA. So you would have wanted to fix that and make it APA. But, yeah, that's going to affect it a little. Well, partially meets. uh, Yeah, I feel like I do need to take a little bit more off just because of this being the wrong word and this not being properly formatted according to APA. So, but it's, of course, it's still a great, awesome grade, still a very high, awesome grade. So, fantastic work, Delaney. And that'll do it for this video.